What if one of Europe's oldest nations was quietly becoming its most desirable place to live? A country where medieval castles overlook Atlantic surf, where a morning coffee still costs less than €1, and where the sun shines more than 300 days a year. But behind the postcard, behind the yellow trams and the tiled facades, lies a country in the middle of a dramatic transformation, a place that has become a magnet for millions, while its own people ask a difficult question: who is this country now for? Who really lives here? What does it actually cost? And what's the catch that the travel brochures never mention? This is Portugal, and this is what it's really like to live here. To understand it, we have to start where every Portuguese story begins: the sea. Portugal sits at the far western edge of the Iberian Peninsula, the last stop before the Atlantic Ocean swallows the map. For centuries, this was believed to be the end of the world. From the misty green vineyards of the Douro Valley in the north to the sun-bleached golden cliffs of the Algarve in the south, the country stretches barely 500 kilometers, small enough to drive end-to-end in a single day, yet holding a startling variety of worlds inside it. In the center sits Lisbon, the capital, built across 7 hills where the Tagus River meets the ocean. And roughly 3 hours north, its rival and mirror, Porto, older, grittier, wrapped around a river gorge stacked with terracotta rooftops. Between them lies everything that makes this country what it is. But to understand modern Portugal, you first have to understand how close it came to being forgotten. 50 years ago, Portugal was the poorest country in Western Europe. For nearly half a century, it lived under a dictatorship, closed off, censored, and left behind while the rest of Europe rebuilt and boomed. Then, in 1974, almost without bloodshed, soldiers placed carnations in the barrels of their rifles and overthrew the regime overnight. They called it the Carnation Revolution, and Portugal began, slowly, to rejoin the modern world. For decades, it remained Europe's quiet corner, beautiful, cheap, and overlooked, until something shifted. In just the last 2 decades, the country flung open its doors. Golden visas, tax breaks for foreigners, and a digital nomad boom turned this forgotten edge of Europe into one of the most sought-after destinations on Earth. And nowhere shows that collision of old and new more sharply than the capital itself. Lisbon doesn't greet you gently, it climbs. Every street seems to tilt uphill. Every corner opens onto another viewpoint, a Douro, where the whole city spills down toward the river in a cascade of red roofs and white walls. The yellow trams, the famous Tram 28, still grind up impossibly narrow streets laid down centuries ago, past bakeries, tiny grocers, and laundry strung between balconies. This is a working city, not a museum. In neighborhoods like Alfama, the oldest quarter, the medieval maze survived even the great earthquake of 1755 that flattened most of the city. Here, in the evenings, you can still hear fado, the mournful, aching folk music that is Portugal's soul set to melody. But look closer and you'll see the transformation. That old grocer's shop is now a specialty coffee bar. That crumbling building is a renovated apartment listed in 3 languages. Which brings us to the question everyone actually wants answered. What does it cost to live here? For years, Portugal's pitch was simple: Western European quality of life at Eastern European prices. And in many ways, that's still true. A shot of espresso, a bica, costs around 80 cents. A hearty lunch with wine, €10. A monthly transit pass, 40. Fresh fish, local produce, and pastries remain gloriously cheap by European standards. Outside the big cities, life is cheaper still. In the interior towns and villages, a family can live comfortably on a fraction of what the same life would cost in London or Berlin. But there is one number that has broken the old promise. One cost that has spiraled so fast, it now defines the entire national conversation. And we'll get to that. Because first, you need to see daily life itself. Life in Portugal moves to a different clock. Mornings begin slowly, over coffee taken standing at the counter. Lunch is sacred, often the largest meal of the day, unhurried, shared. The Portuguese are famously warm but unshowy, a culture of gentle customs. Strangers are polite, neighbors become family. Crime is low. Portugal is consistently ranked among the safest countries on earth. Food is the daily religion. Bacalhau, salted cod, is said to have 1,000 recipes, one for every day and more. Grilled sardines in summer, the custard tart, the pastel de nata, still warm, dusted with cinnamon. And in the north, hearty stews, and the country's greatest secret, its wine. To taste the real Portugal, you have to leave the capital behind and follow the coast. 3 hours south of Lisbon, the land ends in drama. The Algarve, Portugal's southern coast, is a 200-kilometer wall of golden cliffs, hidden coves, and grottos carved by the Atlantic over millions of years. This is the Portugal of the brochures. Seaside towns like Lagos and Albufeira, fishing villages turned resort towns, and some of the best beaches in Europe. In summer, the population swells with visitors from across the continent. But the Atlantic here is not the calm Mediterranean. It's wild, cold, and powerful, a surfer's paradise. Further north, at Nazaré, the ocean produces some of the largest rideable waves on the planet, walls of water taller than buildings. The coast is the dream, but turn inland and you find the Portugal most visitors never see. Head north and inland, and the country changes completely. The crowds vanish. The land rises into terraced hillsides and river valleys where the wine has been made the same way for 2,000 years. The Douro, the world's oldest demarcated wine region. Villages here cling to hillsides, some half empty now, their young people gone to the cities or abroad. This is the other Portugal, aging, rural, and quietly emptying out. Porto anchors the north, a city of iron bridges, port wine cellars, and a fierce local pride. Where Lisbon is bright and open, Porto is dark stone and hard work. Locals will tell you, only half joking, that Lisbon shows off while Porto gets things done. But now we have to confront the number I promised you, the one that's tearing at the seams of this paradise. Here is the catch nobody puts on a postcard. The same golden visas and tax breaks that made Portugal a global darling also unleashed a wave of foreign money onto a small, low-wage country. And housing paid the price. In Lisbon and Porto, rents and home prices have more than doubled in less than a decade, while local wages remain among the lowest in Western Europe. For a young Portuguese person earning the national average, buying an apartment in their own capital is now nearly impossible. Many live with their parents into their 30s. Many more emigrate, leaving for Northern Europe in search of the wages home can't offer. And so the paradox, a country the whole world wants to move to, that a generation of its own people feel priced out of. It is the defining tension of modern Portugal. Beauty and welcome on one side, displacement and frustration on the other. And yet, for all of it, people who come here rarely leave. Why? Ask anyone who's made Portugal home, and the answer is never really about the price of coffee. It's the light, a soft Atlantic gold that photographers chase and painters have tried to capture for centuries. It's the safety of walking anywhere at night. It's the sea, always within reach. It's a pace of life that reminds you that living is not the same thing as working. For all its very real problems, the bureaucracy, the housing, the low wages, Portugal offers something that is becoming rare in the modern world. A life that feels human, slower, kinder, anchored to the ocean, the table, and the people around it. So this is Portugal, a country of contradictions. Ancient, yet reinventing itself. Affordable, yet fighting to stay that way. A place that welcomes the world while quietly asking what that welcome will cost. Maybe that's the real reason people fall for it. Not because it's perfect, but because it's alive. still writing its next chapter, one sunset at a time. If this journey moved you, subscribe and walk the next one with us. Because Portugal has 1,000 more stories, and we're only just beginning.